Welcome to Eduquestzone. Let's begin the MCQs quiz. Question 121. In a two-port network, if Z12 equals Z21, the network is said to be Option B reciprocal. If Z12 equals Z21, the network is reciprocal. Question 122. The armature reaction in a DC generator causes Option B distortion and weakening of main field. Armature reaction distorts and weakens the main magnetic field, thus reducing EMF. Question 123. The per unit impedance of a transformer depends on Option C choice of base values. Per unit impedance remains constant across ratings when bases are properly selected. Question 124. The steady-state error of a Type 1 system for a unit ramp input is Option B 1 by kV. The steady-state error equals 1 divided by velocity error constant. Question 125. The Laplace transform of sin omega t is Option B omega by s squared plus omega squared. Laplace transform of sin omega t equals omega divided by s squared plus omega squared. Question 126. In a purely resistive AC circuit, the power factor is Option C unity. In a resistive circuit, voltage and current are in phase, so power factor equals 1. Question 127. In an induction motor, slip is defined as Option B ns minus nr by ns times 100%. Slip equals synchronous speed minus rotor speed divided by synchronous speed times 100%. Question 128. Ferranti effect occurs in transmission lines due to Option C line capacitance. Ferranti effect occurs because of line capacitance causing rise in receiving end voltage at light load. Question 129. The root locus starts from Option C open loop poles. Root locus begins from open loop poles and ends at open loop zeros. Question 130. The energy of a signal e power minus 2 tut is Option B 1 by 4. Energy equals 1 by 4. Question 131. For maximum power transfer in an AC circuit, the load impedance should be Option B complex conjugate of source impedance. For maximum power transfer, load impedance equals the complex conjugate of source impedance. Question 132. In a synchronous motor, the torque angle is the angle between Option B stator field and rotor field. Torque angle is between stator field and rotor field magnetic axes. Question 133. Corona loss in transmission lines increases with Option C increase in line voltage. Corona loss increases with higher voltage and rough conductor surface. Question 134. The phase margin of a system indicates Option B relative stability. Phase margin measures how stable the system is. Higher phase margin means more stability. Question 135. The convolution of two signals in time domain is equivalent to Option C multiplication in frequency domain. Convolution in time equals multiplication in frequency domain. Question 136. In a series RLC circuit at resonance, the impedance is Option A minimum and equal to R. At resonance, reactances cancel and impedance equals resistance only. Question 137. The voltage regulation of a transformer is negative when Option B load is capacitive. Transformer shows negative voltage regulation for leading power factor loads. Question 138. The short circuit MVA at a bus is inversely proportional to Option B system impedance. Short circuit MVA is inversely proportional to system impedance. Question 139. A system is said to be stable if all its poles lie. Option B left half of S-plane. A stable system has all poles in the left half of the S-plane. Question 140. The Fourier transform of delta T is Option B1. Fourier transform of delta T equals 1 for all frequencies. Question 141. In Thevenin's theorem, the Thevenin resistance is measured with Option B all sources deactivated. To find Thevenin resistance, deactivate all independent sources. Question 142. In a DC motor, the back EMF is directly proportional to Option B flux and speed. Back EMF is directly proportional to flux and speed of the motor. Question 143. The transmission line having surge impedance loading transmits Option B no reactive power. At surge impedance loading, the line transmits real power at unity power factor. Question 144. The derivative control in a control system improves Option B transient response. Derivative control improves transient response and reduces overshoot. Question 145. The sampling theorem states that a band-limited signal can be reconstructed if sampled at a rate Option C greater than or equal to 2 fmax. Sampling rate must be at least twice the highest frequency present in the signal. Question 146. At series resonance in an RLC circuit, the current is Option B maximum. At resonance, total impedance is minimum, so current is maximum. Question 147. A transformer shows negative voltage regulation when Option B load is capacitive. Negative regulation occurs for capacitive leading power factor load. Question 148. The short circuit MVA of a system is given by Option B base MVA divided by per unit impedance. Short circuit MVA equals base MVA divided by per unit impedance. Question 149. The Nyquist stability criterion is based on the Option B frequency response plot. Nyquist criterion uses open loop frequency response and encirclement of -1.2. Determine closed loop stability. Question 150. According to the sampling theorem, the minimum sampling frequency must be Option C twice the maximum signal frequency. Sampling frequency must be at least twice the maximum frequency of the signal. Thank you for watching. Visit eduquestzone.com for more quizzes.